Hello. So this video is for the informal reflection vlog, of course, clearly, but um, first I want to start off this vlog by talking about, the different ways that I grew. And most notably, I think I grew the strongest through my writing. Um, so throughout high school, this is gonna take a short, trip down memory lane, but it'll be short. So through high school, I thought I was always, pretty, half decent at formatting thoughts that were very relevant to the prompt and to just the themes and nature of the novels itself. I felt like those, that specific attribute of writing, I thought I was always decent at. But what I was really struggling with, not just through the start of the semester, but also through my high school career as well, is being able to format and specifically structure my thoughts. Like I'd have some, complex, half decent thoughts, that were there, but I just really needed a way to find a way to, organize it, that kind of finds a good balance, in the structure between what is to be like very formulaic and not formulaic at all. I kind of wanted to find that, that half balance between those two in a way that works for me. And I feel like I have quite a bit throughout this semester. I feel like I really, most notably through the last essay, like my first essay, I think I got a 75, and my next essay, I think I got an 85. But I was looking at those between the two essays, and I was looking at your notes, and all the notes were just pretty much about like, putting like a sentence there instead of there. It would always be something related to structure. And, as that grade improved and as I think I did better on the last essay, I think it really shows how much I grew with, having a very good and consistent structure with my writing. But in terms of reading and the growth of reading, I really do think that this is kind of something that is very unique, not necessarily to the course, but to the class itself. Because, once again, this is going a bit down memory lane, but in high school, if you were to bring up anything politically related in a public Georgia high school, you would most likely get pulled aside after class by the teacher and saying that, hey, that's not okay. Even if it's just like indirectly related, if there was a very, politically divisive issue, or not even divisive, if there was an issue that was even somewhat related to politics, and you were to reference that issue in relation to the novel or to like a book or something like that, that was never really a cool thing and to do in most of my high school classes. But it became obvious as I, stepped foot in this class, how that's not something that should be, punishable or not something that I should refrain from doing, but instead should be encouraged to do more of. And so as I was reading the books throughout the semester, maybe the first and second book, I kind of refrained to only going along with what is extremely relevant to only the plot and only the characters, and I couldn't really go outside of, the narrative of that, compact, concept. But as I was reading throughout the rest of the semester, past that first and second book, I was, especially with the book Citizen, because that book's awesome, and it touches on a lot of, complex ideas that you really need to research and you really need to be informed about before you make any, serious conclusions, about systematic racism. It's a very touchy subject, and, being informed about the experiences of a lot of communities across the United States, that's definitely a really good way to help manifest a really good interpretation. And that can only come from relating that to, political concepts. You can't really explore the complexities of systematic racism without blocking out politics as a whole. You can't really do that. They're kind of intertwined with one another. And so once again, my reading comprehension grew, simply because of that. We were allowed more creative thinking in this class in comparison to the often restricted thinking in the public high schools. And I really do think that just kind of upped my reading comprehension. Just completely. So now with any fun memories, this kind of goes along with, being able to, talk more about, politics and sociopolitics. Because it's just, I'm majoring in rhetoric. I'm a rhetoric major. And I really, really love hearing other people, and myself as well, but mostly other people, get passionate about certain things. It's pretty fun whenever people get, passionate, and you can tell that they're very, emotionally connected to certain topics. It's really fun to be around that environment. And, surely with, an environment that's more focused on creative thinking and unique thinking and unique interpretations, well, surely people are going to be more passionate about it. If we are restricted to a common interpretation, of course the classroom is going to feel a bit more boring, and this classroom was definitely not boring because of, that very reason. People were getting passionate about the things they believed in, and people were getting passionate about the things that they came up with by their own minds, that they had such limited, restrictions, so that part was fun, seeing people, get a bit passionate about things, using their hand gestures like I'm doing right now. It makes the conversation much more engaging. It makes discussions much more engaging. It makes everything much more engaging, But just for the overall takes of the class, this kind of goes along with the whole discussion, based atmosphere, because I really enjoyed the fact that every single day we were having a peer-to-peer discussion. There'd be teachers in my public high school. My AP Lang teacher, she's great. But we'd incorporate a fair bit of discussions. Like we'd have some assignments, and then we talk about the assignments more and have a discussion about it. Of course, a limited discussion, but it's still discussion at the end of the day. But in this class, it's not like we're having an assignment and then we're having a discussion. Granted, we do have to read, but the discussions were so rampant to the point where the class kind of just felt like, in the best way possible, like, it just didn't feel like a class. It kind of just felt like a group of people that have kind of coordinated, okay, like, when do you want to meet up? Let's talk about this book. It felt like a book club, in the best way possible. Of course, a book club focused on, a bit more educationally, and, we had to fine-tune our essays, and it's not exactly like a traditional book club, of course. But it had that feel, it had that comfortable atmosphere. Once again, it kind of contributes to what I talked about earlier, but it's something very cool and unique, and I hope it stays similar for other classes in the future. Just that, discussion, kind of everyday schedule. Yeah.